Hello, this is Owen, and I'm showing off my Quake map called Death Valley. So, Death Valley is focused on two main things, or is focused on a main thing. A valley in the center where if you fall, you die. Well, if you fall into the lava, you die. Going out to the way it's lit up is to make it look like it goes on infinitely, and it's pretty tall as well, so you're actually able to kill people from down below. And I have bridges that go over each side. I don't think you can make the jump. Oh, you can make the jump. You can make the jump to each side. I keep falling, sorry. Let me change. No, this isn't multiplayer. I can't change the spectator. So at the top here, we have access to the super shotgun, which was replaced from what was a grenade launcher, which is now in a different spot. And there's only one super shotgun, but you have to make your way all the way up to the top. There are a couple of rooms you could come out from the top here. So we'll start with this one right here, which leads down to one of the two side areas. This one is one that's split into two levels. One is the lower level. There's an armor and health pack down here. And the other is the upper level, and this is a spawn point for multiplayer. And then as you continue all the way down to the bottom floor of the valley, you walk in across the bridge. You have a drop down spot right here, and I believe there is a pickup here. It's just not showing. And you also have rockets for the grenade launcher, which still does exist. You also have what is intended to be a drop down over here, but if you're skillful enough, you could actually make the jump. And there's pickups on this side, and there's a health pickup on that side. Bullets, and health. Down here is intended to be one of the main traversed areas, considering you could drop down from the upper side onto the bridge, onto that piece right there, onto that piece right there. And so from all those places you could go in and make your way up. Here is a let's actually start from the other side because it's a little more cohesive from over here. And I've failed to make that jump. Alright, back to the top. From over here, we enter in another room. Right here is also another spawn point. This room is mostly empty, but it gives you a bunch of levels so that you have more time fighting people. And there is a drop-off right here that's intended to be dark, so it's hard to tell what's actually over here. And if you see right there, there's a little room. If you drop down into that, this is where the the grenade launcher is. And so you actually have to come over here to get the grenade launcher. And then you fall down and you're stuck in another room, which dead ends back here. So if you can get cornered over here, which is intentional, but if you came using the right path, you have a grenade launcher to help you out. And down here is where you drop down. You could come in through this room from this point, or you have to walk all the way from the bridge section right here. So now in this intermediate part, we have another 2 level, which emulates the same thing that happened on the room where you dropped down from. And when you come over, you now have large pillars, which you could, in theory, slide down from up top. And up top is basically a sniping point. You can hide behind the pillars to try to avoid getting hit. But in player testing, people have slid down the pillars to ambush you. And there's also some pickups hidden behind the pillars and a health pack here. And once again, down here, it just gives you more access to the lower level. And this one goes up to the side room over there. But if you go over here and you continue straight, you're able to walk all the way up to the upper bridge right here. And then this is where you can hit people. You can slide down the pillar and attack. And that's the gist of the map. Now, specific things I intentionally put in, like over here, I intentionally made the geometry to look less boring. I have the steps clearly marked out by having the sides look different from the walls, so they're easy to see. And following the same rules that John Romero has, whenever I change floor textures, I make sure there's a height change. I guess I didn't really follow that on this specific part, but for the most part, I try to do that to keep things consistent. I also try to put in these different changing textures when going from one wall texture to another. In this case, or right here, this drop down is intentional to make this entire area is intentional to make a choke point because there is a good weapon up there. And you got to be a little more smart on how you get around. You can see right here again, following the same texturing rules, allowing you to tell where the stairs are. I tried to add in a lot more details like these pillars. Out in the main room, you also see a bunch of pillars. It goes up to form an arc, but you can't see the arc, so that doesn't really matter. The stairwells are probably the worst parts. I have a hard time understanding how to do the stairwells, and we'll work on that in the future. Making sure to put in these barriers whenever changing textures, wall textures. As seen here and here again. And I also, so as mentioned earlier, I made sure that when you're up top, you can drop down to these lower levels. And I'll show you again by just killing off myself and saying, oh yeah, see, I can drop down here. And yeah, sorry. Trying to think of everything else. In this room in particular, I try to nestle the spawn locations somewhere where less people are going to show up, because most people will follow the lower area because there are pickups in the lower area, but the upper area is specifically in a safe spot for spawning. I have multiple spawn points across the map to make sure that you're less likely to get ambushed during or while spawning, which in testing seems to have worked. And that's the gist of this map. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.